Good afternoon. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I hope online students can hear me. All right. So what class is this today? I mean, what are we going to discuss today? So I'll mainly focus on certain strategies, okay, or discuss what you should be doing, what you should be avoiding. I mean, I feel that, if knowledge is one part of your preparation, how to use that knowledge, the strategy, etc., that is the most important part. If you do not know that, then the whole exercise of you gaining knowledge and reading more, reading books and collecting information, case studies and current affairs, international journals, okay, taking toppers notes, whatever you guys are used to doing, okay, will not be useful. See, I think just when he came, he told that he did not perform well in prelims, okay, and he learned a very valuable lessons, right? So sometimes what happens is that you should learn from others' mistakes also, okay, especially with respect to your mains, right? But there's a very thin, line of error. I mean, you can make only very actually there's no scope for error, because there's a lot of factors that play a role in you clearing this examination. So everything has to be perfect. Okay, this is what I'm trying to tell you from my own experience. You can do a lot of things and yet you might not be able to clear. You might be very intelligent, but yet you might not be able to clear, because the room for error, scope for error is very, very thin, very, I would say it is not there. You have to do everything and then you have to hope to clear the exam. Okay, that's what is required. I don't know. I mean, most of you, I don't know how you are going to take whatever I'm going to give in this class, what is your reaction going to be, etc. But let me tell you that if you follow what I'm trying to tell you in a very humble manner, okay, I can assure you higher success than what you would achieve otherwise. Okay, that much I cannot guarantee 100%. So that is something which I would avoid doing. Okay, if my own brother or sister was giving, I would have guaranteed them 100%, because I know they will actually appreciate it. Here, if I tell, it becomes a marketing strategy or something. So I'm not going to tell that, but I'm going to assure you that you are going to be better off, okay, than what you would do. I mean, what would be otherwise. Okay, there could be other strategies also. I'm not denying that, where you can do well and all that, but if you're doing it on your own, then it again becomes an experiment where you're again going to end up learning very expensive lessons. Okay, so this is something which I have seen and experienced in my preparation, and seen what my students do, learned from those experiences also. And probably if you follow these things, it might be very helpful for your preparation. So today, I'm assuming that even after this video is recorded and uploaded, etc., there would be three kinds of students who are going to watch this. Okay, there are three kinds of students who are going to watch this particular session. Okay, so one is my old students. So those who want to again get an idea as to how to go about, some of you might not have cleared your prelims or not going to clear your prelims, so you might be preparing for 2023. Okay, so what to do with respect to anthropology, right? The second is going to be those who are going to give mains this year, that is 2022. Also, like that, the people who are going to prepare for the mains. Okay, and then those who are planning to take test series with me. Okay, so these are the three kinds of people who are going to be watching this session or attending this session. So I'll address each of their concerns one by one. Okay, so whatever I discuss for these guys, it is going to be important for the rest. Whatever I'm going to discuss is going to be useful for the rest. So that's why I'll start with, with what the old students, etc., has to do. Okay, maybe I'd call it reorientation. Right, so most of you have completed your classes, you have your notes, etc. Now what to do? All right. This is equally applicable to those who are giving your mains now also. But only thing is that you'll have to compact it, and you might have to do it. The old student might who are giving in 2023 will have about 6 months. You guys have just 2.5 months. Okay. So that is the thing. Once again, if I just who are writing mains this time, who has got 95, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So great. I mean, 2.5 months we can do it. Okay, it is possible to clear this exam, top the exam in 2.5 months. Trust me when I say this. So we'll do that later. I will tell you. Okay. Anybody has already given mains? You have already given mains. Okay. How many times? 2 times you have given mains. Same with anthropology. Okay. Fine. You gone for interview? No. Okay. So that also will. I just want to know the composition of today's class. Online students, I don't know if you can reply. Anybody giving your mains this time? I hope I am audible. Okay, the hands. Okay, great. Okay, so for these students who are giving in 2023, the strategy is again very simple. You give it as though you are going to give mains this year. Okay, provided you have completed your classes, you have your materials, you have your notes done, everything. So you have to prepare the way that you are going, I mean, as though you are going to clear your mains this time. Okay, because you won't get this opportunity again. Next year, it is going to be much more compact. You'll have to prepare it within 2.5 months, 3 months, etc. So you prepare and finish it off now itself. Identify whatever is your mistakes. Identify what how to write answers, improvise your answers, etc. All that has to be done together here. Okay, so for old students also, right? So the strategy is very simple. By December, finish off your anthropology, writing answers, test series, whatever will be the approach later, we'll see that. Okay, you should prepare as though you are going to give your mains, let's say in November or December. You prepare like that, you are going to clear next time when you write it for the first time. Okay, it's not going to be incremental. It's not like I'll do 1 year GS, next year I will do paper 1, then I will do paper 2. It's not going to be like that. The more number of time you have, you tend to complicate your preparation. I've seen this happen, okay, with students. Now you might be saying that, no, I will prepare and I will give in 2023. Okay, so you will say that I have enough time. So I will do research. I will improve my notes. Okay, I will study another institute notes. I will combine both of them. I will make it much better, unique. Okay, nobody will have such material. Only I will have it. So you will start doing all those things. So to avoid that, you start believing that you have to give your exam in December, and like how others who are giving mains this time will be preparing, you start preparing like that. So strategy is almost the same, except that you can add about 2 months. That's all, not more than that. So those who are giving this time have 2.5 months. Those who are going to give next year, you will have 4.5 months, not more than that. Don't give more than 4.5 months, because you will complicate your preparation. I think with experience, you would have seen that as years goes, you start doubting yourself and you start adding more content, you start complicating your preparation. You feel the case studies are not enough. You feel the, theorists' names are not enough. International journals are to be read, etc. You start believing all those things and start complicating, and the efficiency of your preparation comes down. Okay, so those who are giving next year also, this is the same strategy. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'll address the strategy first. All right. So in 2.5 months, or for the old students, let's say 4.5 months. So what should you do? So please, I mean, it might look very juvenile when I discuss all these things, but I will anyways repeat it again. Okay, because you have to appreciate it. Keep your preparation simple and follow this strategy. I can guarantee you that you will get very good marks. You should not complicate your preparation. So those who are writing mains for the first time, make sure your notes, okay, is ready. as quickly as possible. I would say, I will give you, I mean, those who have attended my class and you are giving mains, you don't have to worry anything. Like if you have missed out any particular topic, all right, if you have missed out any particular topic, you just add that. Okay, so if you have done on your own, if you have the entire syllabus as per the syllabus, if you have the topics, that is the first step. Is that understood? Okay, so whatever you want to add, whatever you want to improve, give a target 1 week. You should have done this. I think last time I had sent the video on the group. Okay, by now you should have done that. If not, you can do it. Okay, now by 1 week, you should finish off your notes, meaning no more addition. See, you follow it religiously. I will guarantee you can clear. Again, I'm telling you, it might look very juvenile, like what is this? No, information I'm getting. Okay, so don't worry, you follow this. I am telling you out of experience of my own and students. Okay, keep 1 week to do whatever additions you want to do. Don't have to improvise a particular topic. Whatever you have, if you are able to reproduce in the examination, you will get very good marks. The problem is you will not be able to reproduce everything. It becomes even more difficult if you go on making it more complicated. Let's say you have a topic, totemism or totem, whatever. If it is asked as a 10 marker, do you have enough notes? If it is asked as a 15 marker, maximum 20 marker, do you have notes enough? Don't go to improvise. You know, people have written books on totemism. Yes. So if you feel that it is incomplete, it will always be incomplete. The idea is you should be able to reproduce whatever is there in your notes. So the first step is, I'm giving you just 1 week for you to improvise your notes. Okay, as per the syllabus. Some topics could be missing, etc. Those you make additions to that. 95% we have covered in the class itself. Maybe 5%, some of the basics now you can do it on your own. All right, so that is what you do first. Okay, so making the notes within this 1 week. All right, so then you will start revising, and even revision, when you do, take it step by step. Don't worry, it is not that you can finish the entire and tomorrow itself you can give the exam. It cannot be like that. So it is okay if you are not able to remember now. So whatever you are going to revise, revise it in such a way that the last 20 days of your preparation, you should be able to reproduce them quickly. The last 20 days you should read in such a way that the last 2 days before the exam, you should be able to remember those things. The 2 days that you are going to read is for the exam. When I say this, see, for example, whatever I read today, totemism, let's say, after 1 month, it's the information about totemism would have reduced. I won't be able to remember everything. Okay, so if I say, if I take totemism, let's say I take 15 minutes to read totemism in my first revision, I should read it in such a way that when I revise it in the last 20 days, I should do it in just 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So that should be the idea. You read it such a way during the first time so that you can spend only 2 minutes when you read it the next time. And before the exam, you should just spend 30 seconds. When you read 30 seconds over here, you should be able to remember everything about totemism. So that kind of revision you have to do. Okay, so repeatedly you revise the same thing again and again when you are reading. It is okay to forget after some time, but then once you read it again before 20 days, you will again remember it. You might again forget it on the 20th day, but on the second day before the exam when you read, you will remember everything. So it has to go step by step. Is that understood? So the more you revise, the more your tendency to remember more and more, you are able to do it. Okay, next, third one, make micro notes of contents or whatever you would have studied over here. Okay, make micro notes. Okay, say if you take totemism. Okay, maybe you will have to remember Emile Durkheim and the definition given by them, or whatever, whoever is somebody who has contributed the mind, not the idea. See, totemism you can give in your on your own words. So it is a religious practice having a special relationship between the follower and the totemic object. Totemic object could be anything. It can be living, inanimate, etc. Okay, it could, I mean, the story, you know it, right? You can somehow make your own sentence, and more you revise, you will be able to get that language also when you write. But what you cannot remember after 20-30 days is some of the facts. Emile Durkheim, maybe you might not be able to remember. You might get confused. Who is it? Is it Emile Durkheim? Is it Malinowski? Who is it when I have to write? So there are specific people or specific theories or specific individuals you have to write in a particular concept to get better marks, because examiner will not look at the ideas, because everybody writes the same thing. They will see whether you have mentioned the specific keywords or key individuals, key ideas, key examples. That is what they will try to look, and that is what you need to underline also when you are writing your answer. Did you understand? See, these are small things. See, this whole discussion and this whole process, the 2.5 months that we are going to spend together, the whole idea is to improve your answers, marks by 1 or 2 marks each question. That's all. Okay, just by 1 or 2 marks, just imagine every paper 25 marks extra you are going to get. That's the whole idea. That's what I have done, and where people have seen success. There is no need to change everything what you have been preparing. Only thing that is needed is get that extra 1 mark. You know, when you're running 100 meters also, it's like a 100 meters run. Everybody is going to be in that 8 point something. Just a fraction, even microseconds makes a lot of difference. That's how it is. Here also, 1 mark, you will have 30 people there. People might say, oh, I lost by 5 marks. There will be 400 people in that 5 marks. So the whole idea is to improve our, so by doing these things, it will. Now totemism, there is no scope to, complicate and improve it. How do you improve, or how do you get extra marks? By writing certain keywords, which the examiner is expecting out of you. Otherwise, you will end up getting 5 marks. Let's say out of 10, you write totemism or whatever, you get 5 to 6. If you write these keywords, you will end up getting 7. Just 1 mark difference. But aggregate of it is 20-25 marks. So those things you will have to make specific attempt. See, micro notes you can do, or you can highlight it in your book so that you quickly see them. Okay, totemism, like 10 seconds you should know which keywords to look for. Quick revision, right? So that is what you need to do over here. Then you should also remember examples, okay, of totemism. Diversity, okay, whichever tribe, etc. It could be group totemism, it could be individual totemism, it could be, so such kind you can have. Then when you are giving examples, so these examples are case study. Whichever topic you take, whether it is religion, whether it is Indian, whatever. Even in Indian, you will have to write Indian anthropology, whether it is case studies over there. Yes, please. This when you are reading. So once this is done, this is an ongoing process. See, micro note is not something which is static. That keeps changing. You might feel it's not necessary, you can throw it off. Is that okay? It's not like totemism, I told you, you mention it. It's not like that. Okay, if you should feel that I need, see, basically micro notes is notes of something you cannot remember. Cannot remember. Again, you are not doing it for me or for somebody else. It is yours. Something which you cannot remember. Some quick reference you should have. Quickly, it's helpful even in your GS. It's up to you. Yeah. Yes. When you revise, no, and then you give your test, you will realize, oh, I did not remember this. That you write down, so that next time you will be able to fill. That's completely yours. That is not mine. Notes is, yes, what we discuss in class and made. That's all common for everybody. This micro notes is yours. Some of them can remember facts very well. Data, you don't have to write it down separately. Someone who cannot remember data, write that down. Somebody cannot see. For example, my micro notes had headings also. Just the headings. Like totemism means there will be definition. Okay, obviously I will not write that. but then examples, 2-3 examples, the name, the theories. Under theories, you'll have different name, cooperative theory, Bush-Soll theory, things like that, which I cannot remember. If I know Bush-Soll theory, then I can write half page on it, but I will not remember that. So it can be anything. It can be just headings. It can be examples. It can be facts. It can be names, whichever you can't remember. And if given a choice, you can take that paper to exam hall and you can write beautiful answers. That's what it should be. Don't take it, however, right? So that is what you should do next. So that you will keep revising hundreds of times. Is that okay? It's actually very important in physical anthropology. Physical anthropology, it is more important because obviously, as you know, physical anthropology is more of facts. Yes, so you'll have to make a micro notes or a table over. So that's what you will have to do with respect to this micro notes. Okay, and then write 3 hours papers. So once you finish one section, so initially you divide it. You divide it into different sections like Indian anthropology, tribal, etc. Even for you, when you are giving now, also start from basics. Meaning start like as though you're giving fresh. It's okay, you might have given main several times. You should be able to improve in each paper. Okay, so even for you, those who have experience in mains also, start with section wise. Indian anthropology or physical anthropology or biological or socio-cultural. So one section you finish off. So in our 2.5 months, let's say dedicate 1 month for sections. So each section 1 week. Okay, so you can complete it in 4 or 5 weeks, the entire syllabus section wise. So there you will make your micro notes when you are doing sectional preparation. But make sure you write 3 hours papers. Okay, writing answers every day might help, but the huge impact is going to be felt when you are going to give your 3 hours paper. Okay, it makes a lot of difference because one, you need to complete your paper. You'll get to know how to do that. Okay, how you have shortage of information, you'll get to know that, and what you need to remember to address those. Without that, see, when you read something totemism for 15 minutes, take 5 minutes break, and then you write about totemism, beautiful answer you'll write, no doubt. And you will get confidence. Okay, and then you will say that, yes, see, I have written well, I don't need to practice more. And consciously you feel, I mean, very satisfied. But that's not important. Don't satisfy yourself here. When you see the exam, then you will start shivering. Okay, your head will start exploding. Your hands will not start writing. So all that you should experience now. Be uncomfortable during the preparation. Be comfortable in the examination. That is the strategy, right? So therefore, write 3 hours papers to see how you are performing and finish it off by December. You might start off. I have seen, students last year when they were giving. When they started, they were getting 50 to 60 marks. When they started, in just a span of 2 months, it can increase to about 115 to 125. Okay, in the exam, 125 to around 135 easily. Little bit additional push, 140, 145. So that, I mean, you can get more, but I'm saying this is something which you can get very easily. Okay, and very easily you might end up with this also, 115, which is very bad score. 115 and all, then GS you have to be exceptionally great, which is not very likely. But in Anthro, the advantage is 125 plus is very easy to get. If you are not getting, you might be going wrong somewhere over here. You might be stuck in 115 because of that. Now I'll show you how to improvise later on. Is that okay? So this is the strategy for the old students who are planning to give even next year, or those who are giving your mains this time. 2022, this is a strategy. It's okay, you might feel that, oh, I need to finish off in 1 month. Don't worry, 2.5 months, be, have the plan and stick to the plan. So in 1 month, the next July, by July end, you should finish off your sectional tests or sectional preparations, whatever it is, sectional preparation. And then August, you should finish your full length, like build on the full length preparation. Obviously, September, you will be ready. So that's what you can do. Even for those who are preparing next year, don't think there's a lot of time. When you believe that there's a lot of time, you tend to complicate your preparation more. Is that okay? So don't go on improvising. I'll just explain to you that in a while. Is that fine, all of you? This is what you can do for those who are preparing for both this year as well as next year. Is that okay? It's okay. Start sectional wise. So when you're writing, so start off with section, right? Indian finish off or biological, whichever you want to start off with that. If you're following the test series, just follow the timetable. Okay, finish the sections first. When you're finished doing the sections, micro notes, at the end of 5 days or 6 day, 6th day, you write the full length test. And I've told you how to revise also. Revise the entire section on 1 day, revise it again on the 2nd day, revise the same thing on the 3rd day. Don't do it part by part within the section. Now, let's say Indian anthropology. Let's say we take Indian anthropology, right? So read the entire Indian anthropology on day 1 itself. On the first day itself, read the entire anthropology. 2nd day, again revise it. 2nd day, revise the same thing. 3rd day, again revise it. So you might one day, first day when you read, you'll be just quickly reading, not much would go into your head. You would have just read and understood, or you might be able to remember only 30% on the first day, correct? If you read, if I tell you to read Indian anthropology quickly, how much can you remember at the end of the day? The story, okay, but otherwise, if I tell you racial classification, can you write all the names and examples? I doubt you cannot. On the first day, you will just remember, yeah, something Dravidian, something is there, Mongoloid, yes, somebody gave Guha, yeah, something. So you'll be able to write, but hardly 15-20%, some examples, etc. you can write. Okay. So read it such a way that you should complete, not remember on the first day. Okay, if you go on to like, no, I will remember Guha's classification, read it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. On the first day itself, you will remember Guha's classification 100% on the first day. But on the 5th day, if you don't revise, you will forget it. So on the first day, you read it quickly, you might just remember 20%. On the 2nd day, the same thing, when you read, it will increase to 30%. On the 5th day, when you do this, right, you will be able to remember about 75%, which is good enough. 75% of the entire syllabus is better than 100% of 10%, right? So that's what you are supposed to do. So this is how you try to revise each section in July. Is that okay, all of you? Try to do this. Those who are preparing on your own also, that's okay. The rule, the strategy is the same. Okay, so section by section, you finish it off by December. Is that okay? Next. About anthropology, right? So it's not for new students, it's for those who have already completed anthropology. For those, I mean, that will be uploaded in YouTube. So yesterday there was an orientation on anthropology for the new students. So probably you can watch that. Is that okay? Today I cannot go into those things. Right. So the next thing that this is a strategy that you can follow. Is that okay? If you have anything else, somebody guarantees you that, follow that. But if nobody has suggested you anything or you want to experiment, don't do it. Just follow this strategy. By December, those who are giving next year, you will be completing it. And those otherwise giving this year, you will be also comfortable. Okay. So next is answer writing in anthropology. Answer writing in anthropology. Right. So there's certain things that you need to keep in mind while writing. This is specifically for optional subject anthropology, not for your GS. This is particular. I mean, some of the things are overlapping, but mainly with respect to this. So the first aspect of answer writing, or when I take the entire paper, what you should keep in mind is, one is obviously completing the paper. So that is obviously the most important thing, because if you end up leaving a 10 marker or a 15 marker, it's, you know, you're losing about 7-8 marks automatically. So completing the paper is important. And the second one is selecting the right question. Selecting the right question. So this second part, no, after analyzing with a lot of students after the exam, sitting with people who have cleared the exam, sitting with people who have not cleared the exam, and they were trying to improve them. When I sit and discuss with them, at the end I have tried to appreciate that these could be the things that you can keep in mind while selecting the question. But again, this is something which you can experiment on your own also. Experiment on your own while giving tests. Okay, so while giving your tests yourself, you can experiment with it, and then you can come up with your own strategy. One thing that I have realized, or what I think is efficient from my perspective is, so generally selecting the question means 1 and 5th question is obviously compulsory. The others you have to select, and most of you will be in a situation where and how do I leave a question which I know so well? Okay, so sometimes you end up taking those questions, and then you will be sacrificing another sub question which you do not know, and then that costs like 5-6 marks, and 5-6 marks is huge in mains again, right? So you might be faced with two kinds of situations. If you know all the 3 questions very well, obviously you are going to select that. But then there are situations which are tricky, and many of you will have one question like that. See, out of 5 questions, 2 are compulsory, obviously. Then you have 3 which you have to select. Out of this 3, 2, most of us who have prepared well will be comfortable. You'll know which one to choose in section A, which one to choose from section B. Okay. And most of us will be in dilemma to select that one question, and that the cost is very high there. It is worth 6 marks addition or minus. So that one question, how do we select which one to select? So there could be 2 situations which you might be facing. So one situation where you so one, not so well or very bad, and the other 2 questions, you know it very well. You know it very well. Yes, you might have faced this situation. 2 questions, I know it, pakka I know. The 3rd question is somewhat, tricky. I don't know whether it is right. Will I lose marks, etc. The other type of question is where you know all the 3 questions to a range of about 70 to 80%. 70 to 80%. I think you will be able to appreciate this having written mains, but others also, you will be facing this kind of situation. Did you understand this? Yes. So one question you are, not knowing very well. Let's say if it is a 15 marker, you are, if you write also, you might get just 3 to 4 marks. Okay. Then here 2 questions you know very well. Beautiful. Every facts you know, definition you know, everything, right? Or you will be faced with another dilemma where you have heard the questions, you know it, but it's not your favorite question, or it's not your favorite topic. So this is the dilemma that most of you will be facing. I would suggest you to go for the first one. Okay, you should go for the first one, especially when this very well remembered question, or your favorite question is direct or fact based. Let's say Sheldon's classification, somatotyping of Sheldon. Fact, by hearted, 1, 2, 3. Or racial classification of Indian tribes, 15 marker they have asked, you know it. There is no scope for them to remove the marks. Are you understanding? So if it is more of direct and fact, it is again strengthening the reason why you should choose this. It's like, see, like a maths problem. Maths problem may if you get the whole steps and the answer correct, the examiner cannot remove any marks from that. Yes or no? So if it is a fact based where the question is direct, there's no scope for them to remove, then you should choose those kind of question. Even though you are going to get 3 to 4 over here you might be getting 15, and 15 you will easily get 13. You can get. So if you calculate overall, you will get better marks. And another reason why you should select, especially if it is one of the question is 20 marker, just go blindly and say. See, this is something which I am just mentioning. You write it down, but you should experiment it. You should feel it. Okay, then only you implement it. It's not like, oh no, I'll do that. It's okay. This is not something which you have to follow, but with my experience is something which I have learned. Okay, or with analyzing with other students also, I have realized. And I have seen students come and say, sir, I've got 120. Where did I go wrong? Then we sit, which all answers did you write? What did you write here? This I did not know so well. I thought these two or, these two, I mean, the other one I didn't choose because one of the question I didn't know at all. So then we analyzed, they would have ended up getting 5 marks plus 5 marks plus 5 marks. They would have got 15 in this, the second variety, where they knew average of all the 3. Very basic of all the 3, they ended up getting 5, 5, 5. Instead, you will, let's say you got 0, you will get 13, another one 12. How much is it? Right? So 25 is better than 15 any day. Did you understand? So this can be a guide for you to choose the right option in your exam. So it is very tempting for you to write all the 3 questions which you know average, and to leave question which you do not know but do very well. Some answer 2 questions which you know very well, 1 question which you do not know. The temptation is that you generally even, if it is a 20 marker that you do not know, then probably yes, you can leave that. Usually 20 marker if you know very well, another 15 marker you know very well, and the other 15 marker you don't know at all. Cook up something to get 2 or 3 marks. See, it's very easy to get around 2 marks. If you write average, you'll get 5 marks, 6 marks. Beyond that, you have to be perfect. So you just simply cook up something and get 2 marks. You know average, you'll get 6 marks in another question. So it's always better to attempt this. Did you all understand this? Yes? So therefore, when you're selecting, most of you will be facing this issue. So in every section, you will find one question, 50 marker, which you will be able. And now UPSC is trying to experiment. You might have seen that. Okay, so they're trying to put one difficult question in every 50 marker. So don't get scared. Is that okay? I will try to address. So how do you address it? It's okay. You don't have to address it. Nobody can address it. Don't run behind a 15 marker and sacrifice 25 marks. Don't run behind 15 marks to sacrifice 25 marks. So you will be running behind unexpected questions. When the expected questions, you will sacrifice. Most students end up doing that, especially those who have a lot of time. Okay, so that you try to avoid. Is this okay? Online students? Yeah, we'll discuss all that later. So first, one by one, we are discussing each thing. So this is with respect to the first thing. Is that okay? So completing the paper and selecting the right question. Okay. See, later when we discuss, I'm not going to stress on all these things. This is the first class of the orientation to test also. So these are all important for everybody. with anthropology. So this is what you can do. Is it okay? So this is the first aspect of it. Okay. Right. So completing the paper and send. So completing the paper is by practice. Okay. So by practice, you will be able to complete. So you'll start realizing how much time you have to give for each question. Okay. Sometimes what happens when you know a lot of things, you end up writing a lot and you waste more time. Space will be there, so you end up writing more. And that will cost you heavily by not completing the paper. So by practice, you'll know how much time you're supposed to give. I mean, it ranges for a 10 marker about 7 minutes to 20 marker about 15 minutes. Okay, so again, it depends on individual speed and things like that. You can experiment. There's no fixed timing which I can give, but sometimes which are good, you can give 8 minutes and then something else 6 minutes. All that you can do on your own. So I'm not going to go into that. That comes with practice. And selecting the best question, please experiment it yourself, see how you perform, and then you come up with your own strategy. My suggestion is what I told you, start with that experiment. Okay, next. So this is with respect to the first part. The next one is structuring your answer. Structuring your answer. Okay, and addressing the, or rather that should have been first. Okay, addressing the demand of the question. So addressing the demand and then structuring your answer accordingly. So even in Anthro, there are some questions which is analysis based, etc. Like critically evaluate the concept of this. So in such kind of question, you should have a good framework. Like last time they had asked a question, Morgan's classification of family, critically evaluate Morgan's classification of family. So here you just give the classification, you'll not get marks. We'll have to write even the evaluation part of it, like how he considered it, certain types of marriage to be most primitive, but other studies have shown that it is not. Then there are societies without marriage. Like that, you can write few points on the critical note. So therefore, you need to understand what is the demand of the question, and the demand of the question will depend on the keyword. All this, I think most of you know it. I'll not go and waste more time on this. So depending on the keywords, discuss, criticize, or critically evaluate, analyze, okay, substantiate, explain, all that depending on the keyword, you will address it. Needs to address the keyword, whatever is asked, and then structure your answer. This is again very, very important because you are playing to the psychology of the evaluator. The evaluator do not know you. They do not know how much effort you have put, how much knowledge you have. Ultimately, they are going to evaluate you based on your answer, and that has to be presented well. Like in a chef cooks a meal and goes and throws it on the table, it doesn't appeal to the patrons. So you need to make it more appealing. Garnish it well, put one chutney comma or full stop and things like that. You might have seen gourmet food, and you can charge very high. Same way with respect to this. So this is very, very important, structuring your answer. Okay, how you are going to write, what headings you are going to write, the headings, the diagrams, the flow charts, underlining. Okay, that we'll put it later. Okay, so the headings is the most important thing. Under each heading, how you, same thing, it's all applicable to even GS. Here also it's applicable. So the same way, headings, okay, how you are going to write. See, I have structured it like this, so you are able to better understand. If I'm like talking haphazardly, you'll also after half an hour, you'll sleep off. Okay, so at least I'm able to engage for a longer time, if not for complete time, because I'm also saying 1, 2, 3, 4. Your answer also should be like this, structured well. How you are supposed to write the diagrams, flowchart, all that. So where you are supposed to write the diagram, where you are supposed to write the flowchart, everything comes under this structuring. This is where I can help you out. That's what I'm saying. So this is all as per, as you write and as you are evaluated, you will be able to improve it more and more. And last section, so fifth one and sixth one. Fifth one is the content. This is the in terms of importance. This is in terms of importance what you have to prioritize. I have put content fifth because I have been evaluating, and I have also been surprised after that, okay, that how marks are given. Is that okay? So if you still don't believe it, you will realize it. You will learn tough lessons after that. So you need to realize that content is important, but fifth in our standing over here. I have seen students write average content beautifully. Okay, even GSmate is even more. You should know how to write when you don't know. Okay, so that is what again we will be learning in our exercises. Okay, so content is the next thing. Obviously, content, you focus a lot, notes and revision, etc. That's what it is. Okay, but if you revise it and you don't focus on these four, you understood it's of no utility. It's of no use. Okay, so along with content, you also need to do that now. See, content, by attending class, by doing self-study, you have already done it. Good. So that part is already done. That's why I told you this session is very important. That's why I told you it is reorientation for the old students. Why reorientation? Because now that you have finished your content, what next? Reading for 5 years, you can be reading. 5 years, you can be improvising. Okay, what's the point? You have to clear this exam. So for that, you need those things. And last one is your beautification. Beautification. Okay, so that also is important. So the last one is your beautification of your answers. Conscious effort has to be put to make it more appealing. Okay, I think I put it last is because obviously if you don't do any of the above, then the beautification does not make any sense. Okay, you can't write drawings and just leave it at that. So obviously this has to, all these are important, and then comes the beautification. This beautification also can add 1 mark, 2 mark to your answer, because see, I have also, I mean, if you have, if you realize evaluation is a very tiring and boring and dry job. Okay, so especially the people who do it, at least over here we get paid, so it is okay to do it, well paid. Okay, but otherwise, if it is in a institutional level, at the government level, the pay is not so high. They will be staying away from their house for 15 days. Okay, they wouldn't like it. They're in their 50s and 50s and all. They don't want to travel. They want to stay in their house. They will go to Delhi or some other place where it's cold. Food is not good. Okay, then they will be getting calls. Papa, I need bike. You don't take care of me and all that, or you're not at home. There'll be all those factors involved in when you are evaluating. All right. So that time when you find an paper which is appealing, it plays to the psychology. Like you'll be like turning page and then like, oh, okay, fine. What is this? Let me pay a little bit more attention. Okay, don't think that it is what do you say, very high of evaluators or the interviewers, etc. It's not like that. UPSC is normal. Okay, they are also common man only. Okay, they have no stakehold in your success. They are just doing their job. Please realize that. Okay, with due respect to them, everybody, it's a job. If you are evaluating a paper, obviously you'll read everything and be interested in that. For them, it's just a job. So make their life easy. So beautification, like by underlining. I'm not saying say take a paint and nothing like that. You underline keywords. Some, at least out of this 8 question, 8, 3, 24 or 28 questions. So out of 28 questions, 4 or 5 questions, no, they will jump off. Don't you think so? Would you agree that they will read all 28 questions, each line? Do you think so? Right, 2-3 questions they'll like skip off, because like if you have written well, they're like, this also will be correct. Imagine if you are the 15th paper they are correcting in the first half of the day. They'll be like, I'm hungry, I need to go. Like, okay, I finished. Do you think 3-4 questions they'll do that? 3-4 questions, if you beautify it, underline it, big headings, diagrams on the person, box it, add figures, they like skip it and they're like, oh yeah, it must be good. Okay, and they will give you the better marks. 10 mark mein 5 is average, 7 is good, so they'll end up giving you 7. Trust me, I have done that, so I'm telling you that it is important. Is that okay? It is important for you to do that. Beautification, underlining, writing in capitals, especially if your handwriting is not so good. Okay, writing in capitals, the keywords, the headings makes a lot of difference. Agreed? Okay, so these are the things that you have to keep in mind while writing your answer. Is there any doubt? Any doubt? Is that fine? So this is what you can do. With respect to structuring, I think as we discuss some of the topics, we will focus on that. Introduction may you can write definition or the context or some data, especially in paper 2 tribal and all, you can start off with data. In social, cultural and all that, you can start off with definition. Okay, in terms of physical or in terms of biology, you can give the context. Physical means like if they ask you about Neanderthals, you can give the context. How did it originate or things like that. The context you can start off with. Then the features. Okay, so most of the place, please remember, it is humanities, it is science, this discipline. Anthropology is both. All right, so most of the places you might have to add cultural, socio-cultural, and you might have to add physical also, especially in physical anthropology, biological anthropology. Don't just get fixated on physical. You might have to also write social, cultural, depending on the demand of the question. Similarly, when you're talking about Indian anthropology and social anthropology, certain concepts, certain ideas, how we classify. So functional impact, structural impact. Like say, for example, when we are talking about marriage, what is the impact of feminism on family? If a question is asked, you'll write 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, instead of that, you need to organize it much better, where you can say what is the functional impact of feminism on institution of marriage. What is the structural impact? Okay, so feminism, where women role has increased, it's a structural impact of family. When we say that family is now being replaced with, upbringing of children is now being replaced by other agencies, it's a functional change to family. There you get this extra marks. Is that understood? Are you able to appreciate this? We simply write it's becoming nuclear family. It is, the divorce is increasing. Upbringing of children is taking care of others. But then the same thing, you organize it differently, saying that functional impact, upbringing of children is taking care. Division of labor is undergoing change. These are all functional impact. Structural impact, status of women is increasing. Youngsters are getting better status within the family as an organized. These are all structural. What is structure? Status and role. Status, role, and network. Right? Status, role, and network. So these things come under the structure. Function, obviously, fulfilling the needs. So this is how you write socioculture. Even in take for example Indian anthropology. If the question is asked as how let's say Panchayati Raj is affecting the caste system, or rather Indian villages. That's a question, no? So PRIs and Indian villages. Again, you can write it like 1, 2, 3. Like polity students also will write the same thing. GS students also will write the same thing. You will get 5 marks. He'll also get 5 marks. She'll also get 5 marks. How do you get that 7 marks? Again, structure it a little bit differently, saying that yes, the structural changes that has happened in Indian villages as a result of Panchayati Raj, local governance, meaning The caste system has undergone change. It's a structural change. Dominant caste has now become more powerful than the upper caste. Again, it is the change in the status of individual as a result of democracy, as a result of Panchayati Raj. Something like that. Jajmani system is weakening. Functional changes are occurring. Because earlier, Jajmani used to serve the function of uniting the people within the village belonging to different castes. But today, democracy, party politics are uniting people, and ideology are uniting people and complementing each other, or rather conflicting with each other. That's the functional changes that is occurring in Indian villages. I think we have discussed that, but that's what I'm saying. That has to be presented that way. Like really impact of religion on Indian society, like Christianity on Hinduism. There also structural changes to Indian society, functional changes to Indian society. You can write and then add other points also along with that. So it looks a little bit very technical. They'll be happy to see such kind of diversity. Okay. So that is what you can do for structuring. Now with respect to content, as we have already discussed, right? With respect to micro notes, that's what you need to do for content. Okay, social, cultural, remember names, remember theories, and try to incorporate them in topics. Like when marriage is asked, write theorist's name. Okay, write their school of thought. Similarly, when you are talking about physical, make sure you have the diagrams and places where it was found, things like that. Similarly, biological. So all that content wise, anyways, I have already explained to you using micro notes. Probably you can remember, and also keep ready-made fodder contents. Okay, like data, facts, certain definitions. If you cannot make up definition, try to remember definition of everything. Like starting from right from society and culture, you should have a definition. Okay, you can't. You should at least know what keyword should be there in a society and who gave it. That is something which you can do instead of searching for new things. Okay, you can go by remembering the definition, etc. Correct? No, lot of places we would have defined totemism. You should have those keywords which has to be there in the. You cannot say it is a worship of totem and leave it. It is a relationship between an individual or a group to a like that. You'll have 4 or 5 keywords that has to be there in the definition. So Atara fodder contents, make sure you keep in mind. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is something which will be helpful in answer writing. Is there any doubt? Let me try to address it. Yeah, test series I will just tell at the end. This is mainly for everybody who wants to write answer, improve their marks, etc. What is meant by value addition? How? Yeah, there are some questions that I have also written. Let's see. Can we use colored pens? No. Okay, no colored pens and all, right? Either blue or either black and pencil. Okay, no highlighters, no red pen, no green pen, only black and blue. You can probably use gel pen. Okay, it makes your handwriting a little better, is what I have seen. Don't compromise on those things. Is that okay? Don't write an ink pen and all that. Just try it, experiment with. There are certain investments which you have to make, which is which is needed. Okay, so like a gel pen, even though it is expensive, maybe 30 rupees, 5 rupees you get a ballpoint pen. So I would still suggest you to go for gel pen. You just see it, your handwriting by 10% it may improve, and you can write faster also. And the amount of energy consumed per meter of writing, okay, is less compared to a ballpoint pen. Ballpoint pen, the friction is more. So therefore you end up spending more energy. You might, it might find funny now, but you're writing, 6 hours in one day. Okay, it's quite energy consuming. 6 hours when you have to write these small things. Ink pen also is much better, but ink pen don't write because it's obviously it's not waterproof. Okay, so gel pen is the best option because it consumes less energy. Okay, these small things makes a lot of difference. Somebody who follows them each step by step, no, actually will get small 1-2 marks extra, makes a lot of difference at the end when you aggregate all the papers, right? So you'll be writing 8 papers, no, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7 papers, which is evaluated. I mean, the 2 compulsory, the ones which are evaluated, 7 papers. In each 7 papers, try to improve by 20 marks. Okay, so 140 marks extra you will get. 1 mark each question. You do this change, no, you will go somewhere. Those who are writing first time now will do it because they'll have that confidence. They will feel that, yes, I can do it. Next time they start experimenting. So don't do that right now. As I told you, for you also, take it as a beginning and do everything what a beginner would do it. And you will have the experience of your mains. That plus as a beginner, when you do everything, very systematically, you will be able to clear this time. Okay? So that is the things that I wanted to discuss with respect to this. Will this video be uploaded in a portal? I mean, you're watching, so I think it's okay. I think it might be in the YouTube. I'm not sure. I'll tell them to upload, not a problem. Then what, sir, is there need of? Yeah, so value addition I will discuss now. Right. So most of you will be worried about new topics which you might not have covered. Okay, like last time, the first question itself was a bouncer. Okay, right. So, okay, animism, but deep ecology, what is it? Right. Anyways, we're not going to discuss that, it won't be asked again. But such kind of questions will be there in your examination because obviously it's getting more competitive. If you see the entire paper, I think that was the only question which was there. Let's say on 2 questions might be asked. Now that 2 question would be worth 20, maximum 30 marks. All right, if it is as part of options, the other questions, then you don't even have to worry. If it is a compulsory question, then it is a challenge that you need to address. Okay, how to address over a period of time, we will discuss that. Okay, do you have to read some special secret notes or something like that, which is available, or some international journals, etc.? Nothing. They are searching a lot in order to find some topics to make this paper difficult. That's all. So you cannot go running and reading all that. For 2.5 months, you'll be spending only on that. And then you will be sacrificing almost 230 marks. Let's say you write for 230 marks because you don't know those questions, you don't attempt them. I'm just trying to make it look practical for you and be able to appreciate it. Even last year when my students cleared, they also did not have that knowledge, but they got very good marks. How did they get it? That means they wrote for 230. Okay. And out of this 230, if you get 70%, what is 70% of 230? 140 plus 145 roughly. Yes. Yes or no? 70, 70, 140. 200 only means 70. Okay. So 161. Okay. Isn't it? I don't think. Okay. Anyway, so you got the picture. So let's say it's not even, let's say less than 70%. Still, you will be able to get 140, which is a very good marks. So there are students who are going to run behind those questions, who are going to say that international journals, etc. They'll join some Telegram groups which are going to supply you non-stop every day 3 articles. Important. Okay, with all diagrams flashing, fire, everything will be there. You might have seen such messages. Right? Most important, we did research, we found it. It'll be 3 pages to read. You'll spend the entire 3-4 hours to understand it. And what are the chances that it's going to come? Very less. Okay. And even if it comes, you're just going to address 20 marks, but you have sacrificed this. So if you address this and you still get 140, it's good enough. So smart student, that's student A. Student B, smart, will not worry about it. Perfect what they already know. You see previous year papers, not more than 2 questions are difficult. Not more than 2 questions. That too now, in the past 3 years, it's getting difficult because obviously it's getting competitive and they want to not show that, Anthro is very good. So they're trying to make it difficult, but Poor guys, unfortunately, they can't find a lot of things with respect to anthropology. The subject only is like that. Is that okay? No much research takes place in India, unlike other subjects. No universities funds them. So there is very little research that is done. So somebody has to work with a lot of sincerity to find such questions. So don't worry about it. Practice this. Did you understand? So I know many of you will be thinking, no, this is not the right strategy. That is student A. Student B is those who are going to get 140. Okay. You have trust in what I'm telling you. Okay. Maybe you can ask your seniors who were there last year, who cleared from your class. You ask them. I think to orientation, I had asked him to come. Rajesh Ponnappa, he got 222 rank. I asked him to come for the new batch students. Okay. So he said, I did not have much time, so I just read the notes and I was able. So because if you had more time, no, then you will start thinking like deep ecology. Where did it come? Which is that journal? It came from this university. Then, like epidemiologist, you go take a paper trail and you find out who was this person who gave this particular question. What is his thought process? What question is he going to give next? They will try to do that because they have a lot of time. Don't do that. Take less time and finish what is required. Even worst case, if you write for 230, still you will get this. See, for 10 marker, very easy to get 6 to 7 marks if you write all the points. Okay, like historical particularism was asked, right? We have done that, France Post, when we did. Beautiful 10 marker, enough content is there. How much you would have got? Do you think you would have got anything less than 6 if you have reproduced everything what we have written with the diagram and its impact after that to Indian anthropology, where his students like Clark Whistler, etc., and their students, Maurice Oppler, who came to India and used it, gave the concept of sacred geography. If you relate that, they'll go like, oh my God, what is this? So then they'll give like 7 marks. There is enough content. When you have limited, you can relate all that. Correct? No, see, historical particularism and sacred geography are related to each other, distant cousins they are. Correct? No, the historical particularism also talks about history of a particular geography. Sacred complex also is talking about how Indian civilization came into existence from that sacred center, which is again historic. So the whole idea we don't study it because we have only 4 months to, to prepare for anthro. But that's the story. If you know it a little bit, you can write lots. So in that you would have got 6-7 marks. If you knew it and revised it repeatedly, you would have got 6-7 marks. So that means what? 65%. Okay. Another 15 markers, 20 markers. All, if you write all the required content, etc., easily 13 marks to 14 marks is very easy in 20. Similarly, in 15 marker also, it's very easy to get around 8 to 9 marks. Very easy. Beyond that also you can. I'm just saying, like, if you just write whatever is there, 9 marks. So again, this is around 70%. Did you understand? 70% to 30 is very good. 140 plus. This is what or how you are supposed to get the mark. It is okay not to sulk and worry about that. Even if you spend a lot of time, still you will not be able to address that. Deep ecology, do you think somebody who, when you were preparing, if you had spent like 5 months, would you have found that deep ecology from somewhere, or would you have even thought about it? Never. So don't think that I have to make value addition. I have to improve. I have to read international journals. Like that is, after you clear, you can say all that. Okay. Or let it be for the social media warriors. Okay. Or somebody who has written 5 times anthropology. It is for them. You come here, 2.5 months study, clear, go. That's all. For that, this much is enough. So value addition, is that okay? This is what is the answer for value addition. Value addition only is beautification from your end. Is that okay? So whatever, in a class also, when we give test also, I will try to do some research and try to make it tough for you guys. Okay, just to show off that even I can do that, right? But then you can read the key answer. Hope that comes in the exam. But I cannot identify which question will come. So don't expect that from me. There will be no value addition in that sense. Okay, I'm not going to predict any unexpected question. Please, I cannot do that. If you're here for that, then I think you're in the wrong place. But I will tell you how to cook up things when you do not know. That maybe I can help you out, but not beyond that. So that I want to make it very clear. Even value addition, what I give you will be like, I'm also in Telegram group. So I also see those people who sends, which I find would be a value addition. I also copy it and I'll, edit it, put it in bullet points, put my name, and I will share it. Is that okay? Fine. So that much I can do. But otherwise, I'll promise you that when we see these answers, I will show you how to improvise these questions. Okay? Or attempt to write some silly thing which you can get 2-3 marks. So at least out of this 10 marker, something like, see, in this animism and deep ecology, at least by writing animism and some thinking like, okay, deep ecology is to do with environment, maybe nature worship. That's what it is. Something like that. Okay. So you read about it and then you write a little bit something related to that. In the 1950s, again, animism was reignited as a concept. It was discredited. Later, again, in 1950s, it was again evolved, and then they try to start giving certain ideas on those things. So probably that way, if you had thought and written about Indian, how the belief is that every object has a personality. Okay, like in Hinduism also, we believe that everything is a person. Okay, like even some animal also, like how are you, are you nice, you need any food. So that is a belief in that. Okay, and preserving environment because of that. Okay, so people are studying from the social point of view. So from that it has come. So if you write at least those things, 3 marks is a guaranteed. So just for that extra 2 marks, you will spend a lot of time, which I don't think is valuable. Okay. See, model answer for, yeah, I'll come to that in a while. I'll just finish the other things. Yeah, so out of syllabus topics, this is what you can do. Then I also addressed the question, writing answers every day will help you to a certain extent in anthropology, not beyond that. It will only help you to structure your answer, etc. But more important is writing a 3 hours paper. You write it once, you'll realize it is a challenge. Writing 1-2 question after reading is very easy. See, GS, it's not like that. GS is because, let's say you read the world history, and then you see a question on world history, yet you need to think and analyze and then write your answer. GS is not, Anthro is not like that. What is totemism? What are the various theories of totemism? What do you have to think? If it is fresh in your memory because you read 1 hour before, you'll write good answer. But GS you'll have to, synthesize those answers. So that's where it becomes challenging. So there, maybe writing every day 5 questions and all works. Here, you have to write this one or keep a time and then write. I think writing 3 hours every day will help you to get into the thought process, like what topics to read and what to leave and what not to read. So writing every hour will help you. Writing every day will help you that way. But what is ultimately necessary is writing full length papers. Right. So towards the end, to conclude today's class. So with respect to test series, okay, I've just kept it towards the end. I don't want to sound too businessy and all that. Okay. Because only I'll be involved. So even I don't want a lot of students also for that reason. Okay. So the test series, what I have planned is, so you have 5 sectional tests. The syllabus is, I think the timetable is there in the website. Okay. 3 revision tests and 4 full length tests. Okay. So this will come mostly with questions. I'll not be providing you key answers because I will be discussing them in the class. It takes too much of my time because I've realized in the previous time, takes too much of my time to prepare key answers. So wherever the topics are new, I will try to give you some value addition. I'll give you the content. But otherwise, if it is totem and theories of totem, I have to sit and type them, or I have to find it and edit it and all that. So wherever it is already there in the syllabus and your notes, we'll just discuss it in the class, what is expected from you. If there is some new topic which I have found and I have given a question, I will give you content for only those. The key what you are supposed to do, I will do it in the class. Okay, what is the structure, how you are supposed to explain, we will discuss it and your problem. So it will be usually after the test within a week, so that we can discuss it after you write the test. You will just have 2-3 days flexibility. Those who are giving it properly this time, you will just have 2-3 days flexibility. So before the discussion, I expect you to write the otherwise attending the discussion is of no use. Okay, so this is what I plan. So by July end, so 24th it is starting. I think by July end and first week of August, you will finish the sectional test. The revision test will be finished in the month of August. Full length end of August and September. I think the dates are there, so you can just follow that. Every week, one test you'll have to write, and then we will discuss the same. So key, the structure I might give, but no key answer as such. So that is something which, but most of the questions, topics, I will be compiling it from my previous last year test. Okay, I will try to give it as a book so that you will have question answers of the previous test series. So that also will be very helpful for you. Okay, so some of them will be repeating this time also. It doesn't matter. In anthropology, it will repeat. So I can't invent a lot of new things. So most of them will be repeating, but it's okay. The challenge is applying that in 3 hours. Okay, that is what is the challenge. Okay, topics will be repeated like in the final exam. Is that okay? So that's what I will try to do. Evaluation also, we will try to finish. Me and my team will try to finish it and give it within a week. And then there is another thing called as mentorship along with the test series. In mentorship, I will be sitting with the candidate and discussing each question individually and see how to improve each question. So that's how it is different from the regular evaluation. Will be done by me and my team. Okay, and we will try to give it to you and discuss it. That's it. Okay, but with respect to mentorship, I will be spending 1 hour with you guys after the test individually, and 1 hour we can discuss all your problems of each design. It's up to you. I mean, there's something which I had to explain. That's all. I mean, I don't like to do all that. But anyways, I'm just explaining what, since many are asking, how is it different from this one. So mentorship, we can take up each question and tell you why you have got less or more, and how to keep the more high and keep the less to the minimum. So that's what I can help you out with respect to mentorship. It can be even online also, because online we will correct and send you the PDF. I'll have the PDF, you'll have the PDF. Over the call, we can discuss those things. Okay, so that is what we'll do in the class. Okay, class again, I will give you some of the handouts which I have given in the class. For the new students also, I will give the same handouts. The previous year test papers, okay, and its key answers I will give you. And any other things that we want to discuss, we can discuss it. This one. See, without sounding too commercial or marketing, let me tell you that this is a kind of investment which would be worth, because when we write an answer, there can be two approaches. One is, many of you will be thinking, I'll get the paper and then I will, me and my friend will sit and then we will evaluate our paper. Yes, it's a good way to do it. But then again, you get, if you're stuck with that 115, 120, there's a lot of things that we can also offer. Okay, that goes beyond that, just 10 marks, which makes a lot of difference. So if you are writing it on your own and evaluating, it doesn't work, because you have to make improvement. It's not just about writing. We have to make sure that we improve, number one. Number two is, if you're writing with your friends also, they're also in the same level. Okay, either beginners or experienced, still they are in the same level. See, why it is better from us is because we have made mistakes. We have seen students make mistakes. And the best part is, we have seen students who have cleared, and we know what they have done to clear the exam. Because I have seen those papers where they were 50 marks to 135, 140. So that range, we have seen the difference. So we know what is the difference. You can also learn it, but it takes 5-6 years. That's what I'm saying. So instead, it's better to outsource. So I can guarantee you that you will be in better hands, for the next 2.5 months if you follow it systematically. Even if you have like 5-10 people, serious candidates, it's going to be really good. We can have very good results because of that. Okay. So unlike class, no class I can teach for 300, 400, 500 students. It's very easy. But test series is very challenging also because we have to take care of individual performance. Okay. See, the only reason is discount is because it's in class May we can always offer discount because there's a lot of people here. Each individual itself requires time. If one person requires 1 hour, 2% requires 2 hours, 3% requires 3 hours. So that's the only problem. Okay, it would become difficult for us to do it. Online, yeah, everything is like that. So I think online you'll have a portal, right? So you can in the dashboard you can download the question paper, right? Upload the answer. Then you will have another option where you can download the evaluated paper. So that's how it works in the online. And then probably we will discuss how we will interact. I think through phone we will be interacting, I guess. Okay. No, this is not included in the prelims batch. So, I mean, I told you in the beginning, those who are giving next year also, it is going to be useful. Okay. So I think I don't want to convince too much, but write 3 hours papers and see how how do you perform. Is that okay? Is there any other doubts that you want to be addressed? Yes. Materials, notes, anything that you want clarity, ask now only and finish it off. Can online students get mentorship on Zoom? Yes, not a problem. I have Zoom. Yeah, it's books like yeah. So even otherwise books, whichever I've told you in class, like Nadeem Hasnain and Zaza, etc. Don't worry. If you're giving it now, 2.5 months, chuck everything. Okay, keep it aside, give it to your friend. Okay, use it and study the notes. Okay, that's what I'll give you 1 week's time for you to read all those books and add anything you want to add. But after that, nothing. You should have like 5 books on all the 5 sections. That's how it should be. Trust me, it will work here. Don't even think twice. Okay, I tell you, no, I will take the blame if something goes wrong. Is that okay? Meaning that kind of, I mean, I know it's going to work, provided that you have to stick to the strategy. Complete to the end, you have to stick to the strategy. At least good marks you will get. Sometimes there are other factors, good karma, all that also is important. Okay, if you don't have that, that's not on me. Okay, or maybe something better is waiting for you in your life. Right? So all that I don't know, right? But otherwise, I can assure you, I mean, like, you know, a good, better than what otherwise you would get. Okay, then what else? Can I get your class notes? No, yeah, I'll be preparing them in the class as we go forward. Okay. Will there be any year-long test? See, somebody, I mean, that's another question. Year-long test series, okay, is not advised. Is it okay? It's like one test in 1 month is not advisable. You can do it, but it is not advisable. I'll tell you why, because you will go on spoiling your prep. I've seen students, I mean, there are some people who fund our test series. No, they'll join, but they'll tell I'll take 1 year, but they don't take those tests. So they're all, we call them, funders. So they fund, I mean, they fund our program, but it becomes very expensive otherwise. So there are people who will join, will not write, they'll think we'll write then. We will read the syllabus. We will become experts. We will become anthropologists. Okay, I will go to Kenya. I will find out where the humans first walked. Then only I will write. Those guys are there. 1 year, all that is, it is not at all. By December, that's why I told you, those who are writing next year, by December, finish it off. Close it, January, start prelim. Otherwise, you will be again coming next year and say, I am giving 2024. Okay, so don't have that plan at all. Finish your mains preparation by December. GS can go longer because GS and prelims is overlapping, but anthropology by December, you should, like, as the December test exam is there, final exam, you should write. That should be your approach. I think those who are not going to clear prelims, okay, make sure that you write. I'll give you 10 days, that's all. But 1 week is the ideal thing. When you have less time, no, you will stick to the plan. You might have experienced it otherwise also. The more time is given, like some will say, I will finish prelims. Next year, I will finish mains. Next year, I will finish optional. Then when they write, they would have forgotten prelims. The cycle continues. Okay, so by then they are seniors. Okay, so that's the problem. So no 1 year and all that. Whatever, you can take it now and finish it off by December. That is what I don't want to give 1 year strategy. I mean 1 year anthro test for the same reason. If I've done self-study, will materials be provided? No, no materials will be provided. Okay, so in case if there is some topics which you don't know, but again, it will be limited by my time. I cannot provide you an entire 100 class in a less amount of time. So therefore, I won't promise you that I'll give you entire material, but I can help you out with what to read. I want to prepare slowly. Okay, the schedule is a bit fast. I mean, I don't know if you have understood what I was trying to say. You will understand what I meant by slow and fast. Okay, I'm not saying that prepare fast. I'm not saying that. I'm saying prepare right things. Prepare slowly means you end up reading more. Read less is what I'm trying to say. Not read slow. I'm saying read less. Read what is required. So slow and fast, I think that's the difference. Quote current affairs and all that. Again, with respect to anthro, you guys might know by now, current affairs is not so important. Okay, except for paper 2 a little bit, paper 1 in biological and all little bit. And sometimes we can predict and all that. Again, predicting and all, I don't think it works so much. I don't support that. Okay, like, okay, sologamy was there, so we can expect a 5-10 marker on sologamy, but I doubt it will happen like that. It doesn't happen so much. Biological and all, some recent advancements in genetics, etc. They have asked some racial, like Aryan in debate that was in news. They had asked Harappan. Sometime it is there, but every year they ask. Okay. Yeah, so current affairs is not so important, at least to get some case studies, etc. from tribals, any change, major change in tribal policy, etc. Then it was okay. But again, what happens is there are people who will, again in the Telegram group will give you current affairs relating to any other thing, like they find a stone writing, okay, from some mountain they found. Okay, they will put that up and they will say you can prep. Array, you have already so much megalithic is there. So megalithic, we have 5 pages. You add one more stone there, it becomes too difficult. And that will come in local news. Okay, somebody who is evaluating in UP will not know that. You're like all wrong, out of syllabus is written. Okay, so sometimes it might not work also. Sometimes standard what is there, what that person would read. You read GS, you read current affairs, not them. They will be reading about, Salman Khan's son, what happened, that happened, what. They will be reading those things. Sorry, Shah Rukh Khan. Sorry, Shah Rukh Khan. Okay, correct. No, so they'll be watching like Times Now and this one. You will be reading all Yojana, Kurukshetra or whatever. So the difference is that. So when you write current affairs, trying to make it complicated, I will also appreciate it because I also read that. Okay, but may not be appreciated so well by them. Just think about the evaluators and their socio-economic status and what kind of background theirs will be. Nobody will be born saying that I'll become anthropology and study for that and get NEET. May if they get top also they took anthropology. I don't think somebody would be there like that. So therefore can't expect too much of that also. I mean, with due respect, I mean, sometimes I get scared telling all that because nowadays it's all recorded. No? So yeah, till December, I will help you out. Okay. Even beyond that, I will, but I don't want to commit because then you will be having that in mind. Okay, so I'll be there till, I mean, for my students also who have taken class, I'll be there till you clear the exam. That's goes without saying. But with this mains test series, be there till December. Okay, so will we get the study plan? Yeah, follow the timetable. Yes, if you're not writing your tests also with me, follow the same timetable, no problem. That's the plan. Every week, study this part and then practice it yourself if you want. Okay, guys, is there any other doubt? I hope it was helpful, informative, not from the content point of view at least, but from the strategy, I think it is very valuable. You'll realize it. Okay, So when you clear the exam, don't forget that I told you all these things. Okay, fine. All right then. Okay, guys. So the test will start from 24. The discussion dates are a little bit different on weekdays, etc. Depending on my schedule, I put that. Test, you can write it on 24th. Every Friday, you'll have a test. Okay. Is that understood? Every Fridays you can write test. Discussion will be on Saturdays or Wednesdays, Tuesdays, like that. I have mentioned those dates. We'll try to stick to that as much as possible from my end also, from your end also. But your flexibility will be less. Okay, because you will have to write it before the discussion if you want to attend the discussion. I would suggest you to do that. Just simply write, yeah. Don't worry whether you completed the syllabus or not. If that topic is there, write it. See what went wrong. You can improvise. You don't have to perform in the test. I will keep the marks secret. Don't worry. Okay. So don't have to perform in the test in the sense that you try to. I'm saying even if you get less, don't be scared of, oh, I have not studied, so I won't write. Don't have that. And it requires that effort to be put in. Okay, okay guys. Thank you. Okay. You guys have any other doubt, you can always message me on Telegram. Is that okay? So the first test will be on Indian anthropology. Second test will be on tribal. Third one will be on biology. I have biological anthropology. The reason why I usually do this is in the first 3 tests itself, 1.5 paper will be over. Okay, very easy, and you will have that confidence that, oh, 1.5 paper is over. I just have a half paper left. The 4th test will be on social cultural. 5th one will be the remaining general anthropology, methods, techniques, etc. Evolution. Okay, so these 3 will be in the 5th sectional test. Revision test mein, first test will be social culture, I mean the section A, section B, that is biological, and then the entire paper 2 will be part of the revision test. Then here full length, paper 1, 2, and the last 1 and 2 will be together, like how it is going to be in the final exam. Okay, morning and afternoon. This is what it's going to be. This is how it's planned. All right. So even for those students, old students who have attended my class, this reorientation. So this is the plan. Okay. Whenever you decide to give it seriously, follow this plan. Okay. Keep it simple. Trust me when I say this, the notes that I have given in the class is more than enough. I can guarantee you that. You will get 70% of 200 marks, let's say. 70% of 200 is 140. 140 is a very good score. You will get IAS with that. Provided GS, you give also proper. You understood? Let's say you will write only for 200, but if you write very well, 70% of 200 is 140. See, I'm not going to attract this whole thing by saying that I have some hidden secret topics which I have not given in the class and all that, nothing like that. The same thing we are going to ask in the exam, but how you write, how you present, how you finish, how to help. I will identify what you are focusing wrong, okay, and all that. That's what is going to be done in the test. Okay, fine. Thank you guys. Have a good day.